New players score $30 in match play when they say, Cappy sent me. Park West Bicycle Casino. Come see what everyone's talking about.
Please gamble responsibly. Problemgambling.ca.gov. 1-800-GAMBLER. GGR 001291. GAR 001292. PSIS license number 1358.
This is a test of the emergency alert system. This is only a test.
.710 ESPN, your home for the 17-time world champion Lakers.
KSPN Los Angeles, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
This is a special edition of Lakers Talk. Right now on 710 ESPN, your home of Lakers basketball. The Buss family is selling the Lakers, and we're talking about it tonight on 710. React with us now at 877-710-ESPN. Lakers Talk Special Edition. Right now, here is Beto Duran and Andy Kamenetsky.
Hello, Laker fans. Or remember our old friend Arnie Spanier? Oh, Laker fans. Oh, whatever it is you want to feel right now. That guy. Oh, my goodness. Arnie, that is the voice of Greg Bourbon. Christopher Arthur Morales is here with us. Andy Kamenetsky, of course. We tag team for Laker coverage here on 710 ESPN. I do pre, half, and post. Andy does Lakers Talk every Monday, sometimes Tuesday, sometimes every day. Also, you have your own special show on YouTube, don't you?
Locked On Lakers, available 5 days a week everywhere you get your podcast, Monday through Friday. Always free, never behind a paywall. And for the sickos who like to watch, there's a YouTube component. There's also already been an emergency podcast reaction to this, but the full show will be also coming out later on.
And we are on YouTube right now. The beautiful thing about ESPN LA and 710 is whenever something breaks, whenever you need extended coverage, we are here for you. So, of course, the big news coming this afternoon, you've heard it all day long. It broke on Mason and Ireland. Shams reported it. The Lakers are being sold to Mark Walters and the Guggenheim Group. Reports are coming all over the place. Expected to be about $10 billion, which is crazy. We are taking your calls till about 8 o'clock, and if we keep on rolling, maybe we'll go till 9 here at 877-710-ESPN, 877-710-3776. I am a big fan of calls on our Lakers shows. Lakers pregame, we get some. Postgame, we get a lot. You get some on Mondays. Now, normally on 710, I'm a big anti-call person because they're usually like, Lakers suck. Lakers
in 5.
We'll get them out of here, right? But today, the callers on 710 have been fantastic, and we are here for the people who haven't had an opportunity throughout the day to react. Reaction for you. But Andy, here, let me do this. Where were you when you found out?
Where was I when I found out this news? I believe I was in the car because that is when I think I heard from Greg Bergman. Yes, I was picking up my daughter from school. It was her last day of middle school. Congratulations. She will be a freshman in the fall.
And she's actually in the studio right now.
She is actually, because this was so last minute, she had to come with me. But as I was waiting for her to walk over to the car to take her home, I get a call from Bergman right as I see on my phone, it's just going crazy. Lakers sold, Genie Bus, Mark Walter. I'm like, I know why Greg's calling. I know exactly why Greg is calling. Let me guess, 6 to 8, buddy?
Oh, so you knew.
Oh, I knew exactly.
And you heard it on 710?
Combination of 710 and Twitter.
Okay. I, this morning, took my daughter and her friends to the beach. They're in the break. And I heard driving home, I pull up into the house, and I hear Mason and Ireland, who were doing a remote at a listener house in Thousand Oaks. Fantastic setup. Congratulations on CHLA.
Sweet house.
And I hear Mason and Ireland both tease, oh, there's something big coming up. And if this happens during our show, it's going to be the biggest news ever on 710. And I heard that. I'm like, I've heard so many Mason teases over the years. So many. I'm thinking, okay, their contract's going to get signed. That's what it is.
You're thinking this is the hackiest BS I've heard since the last time Mason and Ireland did this.
Yep. And I was going to change, and I take it. I was about to get in the shower, and I see Cappy text me, hey, they want you to do a special Lakers show tonight. And I wrote, no. Because I'm going to the Dodger game with him. I didn't know yet. Then Bergman is calling me, but I was in the shower already, and I get out of the shower. I see Bergman calling. I'm like, man, what's going on here? Why Cappy calling me? Then I look at Shams. Oh, man. I refresh a couple times, make sure it's not. I'm like, oh, man. oh man. And I text Bergman, see you there. Like, what is going on? Now, we've heard rumors over the years that the Lakers potentially could be for sale, but I never expected it to actually happen.
I did not expect it to happen, certainly right now. You knew at some point that this was going to be an inevitability, just because in the world of sports now, when you look at ownership groups, and they truly are groups now across the NBA, Major League Baseball, NFL, whatever, there are all these different, they may have one guy at the top, but they are made up of these different, like, venture capitalists or hedge fund guys, someone like Steve Ballmer, who made his money in Microsoft, where
billionaires.
They are billionaires, but not like the Buss family. They are billionaires, but it's largely been billions on paper, in the sense that their primary revenue stream was the Lakers. And they make money off the Lakers, but until you sell the thing that you own, you never realize all the money that you have, but more importantly, the money that you need now to compete with the Joneses in modern sports. The landscape was honestly untenable for the Buss family, the way things were being run before.
Eventually, they were going to sell.
Yeah.
I honestly thought this. Jeannie and the family will sell once they're in their 80s and they leave it for the grandkids or all the other members of the Buss family. That's their trust. I never really thought the Lakers would ever sell, because you grow up in L.A., there's only been one Laker owner for me. That was Dr. Buss. And when I used to go to Hollywood Park Racetrack with my dad, and I would see the the Great Western Forum, I remember when it became the Great Western Forum. It was always just the Fabulous Forum Blue and Gold, by the way. Then they became the business side, the Great Western Forum, and changed things out. Of course, over the years, sports in 1985 are completely different from where they're at in 2025. You bring up, you have to be liquid. Ballmer might be one of the few owners that we know the face of. The Celtics just sold, and we don't even know. We know the Wick, but we don't even know how to say his last name, right? We just know he's in business with Jeannie Buss in Sincoro, the tequila, right? But they sold. So when the Celtics sold, like, okay, damn. Mark Cuban cashed out. Damn. So that's when I started thinking maybe the Lakers sale will be happening sooner, but not in 2025.
No, I mean, we're going to get into all the reasons over the next couple hours, but this is truly like a sea change seminal moment for the Lakers, for Los Angeles sports, because we know that Mark Walter and Guggenheim and that ownership group now that's going to be taking over the Lakers, they have just stupid amounts of money, like just essentially a never-ending reservoir of money. But also, we know that they spend it. They are willing to spend.
Let me correct you there. They invest.
Yeah.
They invest in their product.
And this is what's really important, because, I know immediately there are going to be people going, they spent $700 million on Ohtani, X amount of money on Will Smith and Mookie and yada, yada. Let's effing go.
Yep.
Unlimited resources. And it's important to remember, the NBA and baseball, they have different setups in terms of the ways you can spend, how you can spend.
The penalties, right?
The penalties. I think this new ownership group will be able to deal with some of those penalties better, and that's a huge advantage. But there's certain things they're not even going to be able to work around. But the infrastructure, the investment now that's coming in the Lakers, I have to imagine, whether you are talking about front office, expanding that, buffing it out, whether you're talking about like an analytics group, scouting, training staff. Frankly, the Lakers have been behind with all of those areas, whether because they were unable, unwilling, both, to really keep up again with the Joneses across the NBA. That's not going to be the case anymore.
Yeah, it's June 22nd. Wait, hold on. What am I saying?
Today's the 18th.
This is the wrong day. I typed May 22nd. I'm reading the paper
you know what?
here.
I had the wrong date there. That was me.
I'm being anchorman right here. So May 22nd, when it was May 22nd, 2025, we thought the Lakers were just going to be a team that we're going to try to figure out how to get a big man, right? Now it's how do we figure out who's in charge? So let's give you the rehash of what's going on. The Lakers have been in agreement to be sold to Mark Walters and the Guggenheim Group, who had a percentage of the Lakers. Jeannie Buss and her family now going to sell 66% of that. That makes Mark Walter and the Guggenheim the majority ownership of the Lakers. Jeannie Buss, according to reports, of course, from our own Ramona Shelburne, saying that Jeannie's going to stay on as the governor. by being as the governor, essentially that's the person that goes to the owner meetings. Now, why is it called the governor? Back in 2019, Adam Silver and NBA changed it from NBA owners to now you're the governor because of racial overtones. So that's why they're now called the governor. Like Steve Ballmer's called the chairman. He's not the owner. They're trying to get away from being the owner. So Jeannie goes to the governor meetings. That's where they have, hey, NBA is going to have a deal with NBC for how many billions you sign off. Amazon's involved. Like, that's the business side. That's not Lakers basketball side.
That's one of the things, and we'll talk about this too, that I am really, really fascinated by, curious about, and honestly have no idea. Like,
nobody knows any idea right now.
What this actually means for Jeannie moving forward, because she is no longer the majority owner, and by her own admission, while she's obviously signed off by definition on every basketball move that's ever made, she's never been a front-facing principal voice in any of that stuff. Again, her words, not mine. So
her book said that.
So with that in mind, what does running the team, the way Ramona Shelburne phrased it in a tweet about in this new era, like what does that actually mean? I don't think it's like, because I've seen people make the comparison, Mark Cuban apparently had a handshake deal with the Dumonts who bought the team in Dallas, and since then he was dissatisfied with his role and has, I believe, just cashed out. It is I think it's going to be in the contract language of this that Jeannie will be the formal governor. Like, I don't think she's about to get pushed out of her own team. And if I had to guess, and it's purely a guess, she and Mark Walter have had a longer, better relationship. You know, I doubt Magic, if nothing else, Magic is involved with Guggenheim. I doubt he would want to
There's so many different factors.
I doubt Magic would want to be a part of pushing Jeannie out of this organization. But what this actually means for Jeannie, not a clue.
Nobody knows anything. Again, this is all here, but we do know that the city is now buzzing. But are there any people out there who might think that it's not a good idea? We'll take your calls, 877-710-ESPN, 877-710-3776. We're taking your calls, figuring out what is going on with these Lakers, looking around and say, wow. And do the Lakers only make big moves when there's a big moment? My goodness, Super Bowl, hey, we got you here, Luka. Hey, NBA Finals the day before an elimination game. Hey, how about the Lakers being sold? Your phone call's coming up, 877-710-3776. Also, the news out there is so big that Dave Roberts, Dodgers manager, was asked about the Lakers during his pregame availability as they get ready to play the Padres in a big series. All that and more. Bethel Duran, Anthony Kaminsky, Chris Morales, Greg Bergman, Laker fans. Let's hear from you. 877-710-3776. Special Lakers Talk on 710 ESPN.
And you'll never forget the day you heard the Bus family is selling the Los Angeles Lakers. ESPN Shams Charania is reporting that the buyer is Mark Walter, the CEO of TWG Global, and the price is $10 billion. We're talking about it on your home of the Lakers, 710 ESPN, and the all-new ESPN LA app.
Breaking news on 710 ESPN is powered by Valvoline Instant Oil Change, home of the 15-minute drive-through oil change. Visit SoCalOilChange.com for coupons and locations.
Need assistance with door and window projects? The Home Depot can help. From inspiration and materials to ordering and installation, our free Millwork virtual apron service can get you moving and doing. Plus, we speak Spanish too. Our associates can help you tackle complex jobs without you leaving the job site, saving you time and money. Call us at 1-833-HD-APRON or visit homedepot.com/MVA. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
Evan Cohen here. Whether you're locking in your home run picks or riding with your favorite golfers this summer, ESPN Bet is your sportsbook for all the action. Go from checking stats on your favorite teams and players to placing bets in just a few taps. Plus, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
At Children's Hospital Los Angeles, we're a nationally recognized leader in pediatric care, honored by U.S. News and World Report as one of the best in the country. Here, we achieve amazing breakthroughs that change lives. From groundbreaking cancer therapies that offer new hope to young patients, to advanced heart procedures that save lives. We partner with families to conquer challenges and achieve extraordinary outcomes. Choose the best care for your child at chla.org.
Mark your calendars, SoCal. The High Desert Beer and Wine Festival returns to the Palmdale Amphitheater on Saturday, June 21st from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. Sample craft brews from regional breweries, sip fine wines, and enjoy tasty food trucks while rocking out to live performances from Eve 6, DJ A1, and some of the best cover bands around. It's the tastiest party of the summer. Tickets available at highdesertbeerandwinefest.com. General admission and VIP options available. That's highdesertbeerandwinefest.com.
Are you looking for a trusted roofing expert in Southern California? Journey Builders has you covered. This is Mike Trudell from ESPN LA. Journey Builders specializes in quality roof replacements for homes around the Southland. They'll ensure that your roof stands strong. ESPN LA listeners who call in today to book their free same-day inspection get $5,500 off their roof replacement. Journey Builders also offers financing. Call 888-607-8808 today. That's 888-607-8808. Or go to journeybuildersinc.com.
It's a special edition of Lakers Talk with Beto and Andy, right here on the home of the Lakers, 710 ESPN, the all-new ESPN LA app, and on YouTube at ESPN Los Angeles.
Lakers have new owners. The Guggenheim Group, with Mark Walters, reportedly agree to take a $10 billion check to Jeannie Buss and the family. Dr. Durant, Andy Kamenetsky with you here till about 8 o'clock. Chris Morales also here. Greg Bergman producing, doing everything.
You got to turn your mic on, Andy.
Apologies. I thought it was on.
Good thing you didn't say that on the air. Good.
Yeah, probably is for the best.
It gets for the best. All right. Good. Play what Dave Roberts had to say for this. But Bergman did a great job setting up the rundown for this. I just looked at it. And I saw it when Greg was typing, but let me do it again as I'm looking up close. The ownership for the Lakers. So the Buss family has 66%. 11% per kid. Jeannie, Johnny, Joey, Jesse, Jim, and Janie. In order for Jeannie to stay on, she maintains 15%. So the other 5 kids, basically, they're getting broken off. Like, we're good on paper, but now, hey, you want to go buy an island? Here you go, bro.
You know, it's funny you say that because, I mean, and there's so many different things to sort out from this really seismic, game-changing era that we're about to enter. But I wonder what is going to happen with Joey and Jesse Buss, with the organization, Jesse with scouting, Joey running the G
South
League
Bay
team.
Lakers, yeah.
And honestly, both really good at their jobs.
Excellent.
I think they're both quite good at this. I'm curious to see if their involvement and roles change at all. I hope it doesn't.
Yeah, Joey and Jesse, the younger brothers, the
really-
half brothers of Jeannie, were always working. You would see them when I used to do West Coast Conference games. I remember doing a Portland Pepperdine game at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, maybe 50 people in the building. One of them was there scouting. They would be at the spots. They were the ones who would find the guys that nobody really was paying attention to. Now, maybe they could stay on with the South Bay Lakers, but if you're a billionaire, do you really want to work like that?
I don't know. I mean, look, they were billionaires before. They were billionaires. They knew they were going to be billionaires.
Now, cash money, though.
It is
cash money, baby.
It changes it. I also always wondered, too, like, because I would hear from Laker fans all the time, why doesn't Jeannie just make Joey or Jesse in charge of the whole thing? Right. And my response was always, to be honest, and this is me just speculating, but given the way Jeannie had to fire Jim, and I know they had a lot of clashing misgivings, but that is still emotionally difficult. I always wondered, would she be hesitant to do that again? Like to put one of them in charge to potentially have to fire them? Maybe it could change if she is no longer like the true shot caller of this organization. Yeah. Something I thought about.
Ed Roski Jr., chairman of Majestic Realty, owns 3% of the team. And Patrick Soon-Shiong, owner of the LA Times, has 4.5%. And the Guggenheim Group got involved back in 2021 when they took over for AEG. They bought their percentage of it.
So it was 27% before.
Yeah, so they were, it was in, hey, if you ever want to sell, if you ever thinking about it.
It was always going to be Mark Walter. Like I would have been honestly surprised if this moment happened within now in the next 5 years. It would have been in anybody other than Mark Walton.
And the Dodgers continue to roll. They showed up in 2012 as a Guggenheim organization, and here's what manager Dave Roberts had to say earlier this afternoon. The Dodgers getting ready to take on the Padres. Mind you, a big series, big game, a lot of emotion last night. And one of the first questions, so Dave Roberts, what do you got to say about Mark Walter and the Lakers?
I was obviously he's had some kind of stake the last few years or whatever, and he's really committed to the city of Los Angeles in various ways, and sports is something that he's very passionate about, and certainly Los Angeles sports. So I think it's a very exciting day for the Lakers, for the city of Los Angeles, and I think that speaking from a Dodger employee, he's very competitive and he's doing everything he can to produce a championship caliber team every single year, and make sure the city feels proud about the Lakers and the legacy that they've already built, with the Buss family.
That's Dodgers manager Dave Roberts. Knows very, very well about, hey, I need a sleeping room for my star. Here you go. Hey, we need another plane. Here you go. Unlimited resources. 877-710-ESPN, 877-710-3776. Take your phone calls. It feels like the majority of LA is happy about this. There might be a few people who aren't, but let's get going with phone calls. Tony in Santa Clarita, you're on 710 ESPN. Oh, maybe not Tony. Let's try this again.
So Walter could save money to buy the Lakers?
All right, hold on,
Tony. They raised the prices on the
Tony.
Lakers and they lower the prices on the Dodgers.
Tony. We had an issue here. We didn't hear you in the beginning. Let's start this again, so we want to make sure we get your full emotion. Tony, okay. Santa Clarita, go.
So in the past few years, they've been raising prices at Dodger Stadium for everything. And now we know they've been saving money to buy the Lakers. So now they need to raise prices on the Lakers and lower the prices on the Dodgers. Because what do the Dodgers care who owns the Lakers? And now the Lakers fans are going to have to pay more to pay the Buss family off like they haven't paid enough.
Not the angle I was expecting.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that from Tony, but interesting. Okay, let me get a couple of things here. Tony, I hear you, right? The Dodgers are raising prices because they're paying a lot of money to superstars to win the World Series. So don't think that they were using the $29 michelada to go pay Luka Doncic. Okay.
I'm not going to pretend that the $29 michelada doesn't hurt, but the Dodgers put that money on the field.
Yes, they do.
Like, they absolutely put the money on the field. Do you end up paying for some of that back through concessions, parking, all the tickets, all the other stuff? Yes. And I'm not going to pretend that that doesn't hurt for a lot of people.
But you see where your money's going.
Exactly.
Hello, Angel fans.
Exactly. You at least see where the money's going.
Hello, Pittsburgh Pirate fans.
Yes.
Right? Everybody's a billionaire. It's how do you spend it? Now, look, the Guggenheim Group does have money, but they're not hurting. They're not using, hey, a Dodger concession stand to make sure the Lakers. You're not going to see the crossover. Why? Because the Guggenheim Group is worth over $300 billion. Coming up in the show, we're going to explain to you what Guggenheim does and what they own. And the Lakers are like a small bucket for what they own. More of your phone calls. Amir in Costa Mesa, you're on the Lakers special on 710 ESPN. Line 4, Amir?
It's like bittersweet because, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, go for it, Amir.
Yeah, I was saying it's like bittersweet. You don't want to see the headline, oh, the Buss family sold it because of Jerry Buss and all that kind of stuff. But at some point, they were going to get capped out, and I'm surprised it hasn't happened already. So at least someone's buying it like the the Guggenheim Group, rather than like someone like Jerry Jones, where he's super unhinged, and you have no idea what's going to happen.
Amir, appreciate the phone call. This day was going to happen, the last thing you wanted is to have somebody come to L.A. that didn't know L.A., didn't appreciate L.A., didn't know how L.A. fans operate. Because you've seen these tattoos, the Laker-Dodger collab, right? You've seen, it's the Laker-Dodger fan is one person.
Yeah.
Right? It's one guy, usually.
I mean, Kobe had a bobblehead.
Yeah.
I think LeBron has had a bobblehead or some type of celebration.
They blend together.
Anthony Davis, I believe, is throwing out a first pitch.
Chris Paul was booed when he was a member of the Clippers at a Dodger game.
Yes, he was.
Steve La Habra, you're on the Lakers Talk special here on 710 ESPN.
Hey, how are you guys doing today?
Good. How you feeling?
I'm doing great, buddy. Hey, I just want to say there's going to be some people that are going to be out with the Guggenheim group. One is LeBron James. The other is Clutch Sports. The other is Bronny James and Rob Pelinka. Expect Lon Rosen to come on in and clean house. They're no longer going to let Jeannie allow LeBron to draft a son like Bryce. They'll probably all end up in Cleveland. So it's a great thing. It's a great day for the Lakers and Laker fans moving forward. They're going to realize they have to get young. They're going to build around Luka and no longer let LeBron, bring in all of his players that are on Clutch Sports. So the Lakers have to pay them off, and he gets profits off those contracts also.
All right, Steve, appreciate the phone call. 25 minutes in, we get our first anti-LeBron call. I was expecting a little sooner than that. But that's...
Appreciate your restraint, Los Angeles.
Yeah. Look, Guggenheim's going to come in. Are they going to go and change things right away? No. When major corporations come in, Andy, what do? They observe, right? They hire their consultants. They look and see how things are going on. Then they might make some suggestions. This is where I wanted to go with this. Now it's, if you're Rob Pelinka, what are you doing?
Tell you next. Coming up next.
Oh.
Look at the time.
I don't know the time.
I'm going with our usual clocks. I think it felt like a tease to me. What are you thinking if you're Rob Pelinka? I'll tell you. Coming up next, Beto.
It's a special edition of Lakers Talk with Beto and Andy, right here on the home of the Lakers, 710 ESPN, the all-new ESPN LA app, and on YouTube at ESPN Los Angeles.
Are you ready to make a difference for the environment while helping the visually impaired at the same time? Then donate your vehicle to Heritage for the Blind today by calling 1-800-983-6530. Every donated vehicle will either be properly recycled in an eco-friendly manner or given a new life through reuse. Donating your vehicle is easy. Simply call 1-800-983-6530 and Heritage for the Blind will do the rest. They'll even arrange for your vehicle to be picked up at no cost to you. And for a limited time, when you donate your car, you'll receive a $200 restaurant voucher and a 2-night, 3-day hotel stay at one of 50 locations. Call 1-800-983-6530 right now to schedule your vehicle donation and make a positive impact on the environment while helping others. Heritage for the Blind, where every car donation counts and every person makes a difference. Call 1-800-983-6530 now. This advertisement is paid for by Heritage for the Blind.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/LA to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/LA.
And you'll never forget the day you heard the Bus family is selling the Los Angeles Lakers. ESPN Shams Charania is reporting that the buyer is Mark Walter, the CEO of TWG Global, and the price is $10 billion. We're talking about it on your home of the Lakers, 710 ESPN, and the all-new ESPN LA app.
Breaking news on 710 ESPN is powered by Valvoline Instant Oil Change, home of the 15-minute drive-through oil change. Visit SoCalOilChange.com for coupons and locations.
Hey, it's Travis. Every legend has a story, and those stories are kept at Legends Attic in Claremont. Legends Attic is the premier sports memorabilia gallery and store that offers a unique blend of rare and iconic collectibles. It's a community for sports fans and collectors, so go check it out for yourself. Legends Attic, 619 West Foothill Boulevard in the city of Claremont. Visit legendsattic.com and be sure to follow Legends Attic on all social media platforms so you can stay connected to know about their upcoming signings and special events with Hall of Famers and pro players.
All right, listen up. Whether you're out for a walk, hitting the gym, or just tackling your day, in this LA heat, chafing is no joke. Take my word for it. That's why you need Highlands Chafing Relief. This stuff is a game changer. Goes on like a cream, dries like a powder, and stays put even through sweat and water. No greasy mess, just all-day protection. If you've already got some chafing, Highlands soothes it fast with aloe, shea butter, and tea tree oil. Don't let chafing slow you down. Grab Highlands Chafing Relief at Walmart or Target right now.
It's a special edition of Lakers Talk with Beto and Andy, right here on the home of the Lakers, 710 ESPN, the all-new ESPN LA app, and on YouTube at ESPN Los Angeles.
What a day, what a day. Laker Talk special right here on 710 ESPN. Beto Duran alongside Andy Kamenetsky. Lakers are now under the control of Mark Walter and the Guggenheim Group. Not officially, but it's been agreed to that Jeannie Buss will be selling her portion, the family portion, the 66% will be going to the Guggenheim Group. And before we went to break, and we will get to your calls, a lot of things are in the air. A lot of it is speculation. A lot of people in the organization don't even know if it's happening. But we do know that Rob Pelinka is the man in charge of basketball operations. And back when the Dodgers, and we keep going back to the Dodgers and how Guggenheim operated, Ned Colletti was in charge, and he did a great job holding the strings together for a team that didn't have much and keeping it together. Eventually, the Dodgers made a move where they went and got Andrew Friedman from the Tampa Bay Rays and gave him whatever he want. But Rob Pelinka was just given an extension. And before anybody even starts, I'm not saying his job is on the line. But if you're Rob Pelinka, who one of the things has been, hey, we don't have the resources for this. Hey, we don't have resources for that. You got to be looking at it. All right, let's go. Right? Can I get a scout in Europe? Can I get a new trainer?
Well, it all depends on what does Rob Pelinka want. Does he prefer a front office that is very small, very insulated, because that is a way that he can maintain voice, power, and control? Has he actually wanted more voices around him, but just whether because the Lakers were unable, unwilling, combination of both, they haven't given him more infrastructure. Mm-hmm. A lot of this depends on what does Rob Pelinka actually want in this process, but were I to guess, based on the way the Dodgers have run their front office, which is very expansive, they look for the most smart people they can possibly put into a room together. Mm-hmm. If Rob Pelinka is not comfortable with more people either at his level or just like a peg below, but with a real voice and influence, if I had to guess, he will not be long for this job, because that does not seem to be the way the Guggenheim Group and Mark Walter wants their teams to operate. And for what it's worth, it should be a larger front office. It should be more expansive, because you want more people with knowledge. You want more people who can handle things. So, like, one of the big criticisms I've had of Rob Pelinka over the years is I don't think he's necessarily great with the smaller details. Like, he can maybe be good with big vision. A lot of this franchise is, frankly, a lot of star ethos. And you look for the stars, great. But anybody can say, go get Luka, go get Anthony Davis, try to get LeBron. Like, he could hire you and me to come up with that.
Yeah, I could take him from Nico.
But, like, the guys looking for your roster and players 7 through 12, like looking for skill sets that work together to supplement your stars. Those are the areas
we had Jackson Hayes as your starting center.
These are the areas where you need more people. And hopefully Rob is welcoming you to that. But if he isn't, my guess is he will not be around long.
And for anybody who starts saying, oh, Magic Johnson, we don't know who's involved with anything. There's a reason Rob and Magic did not get along. Magic stepped down. Remember that famous day where we're in the hallway and all of a sudden Magic's like, hey guys, all right, they're good, like a dealer in Vegas. All right, we're good. So we don't know who's coming. It's all speculation. Nobody knows anything right now. We do know, though, that the Lakers are no longer a family-run business. Go back to the phone lines. Mark, Manhattan Beach, you're on a special Lakers Talk on 710 ESPN.
Hey, what's up, fellas?
What's happening, Mark? It's been a while.
This is a great, yeah, man. It's a great day for Laker Nation. Salute to Jeannie and the Buss family, but I think they're a mom and pop run operation, and let's compete it. You're competing with the big boys now. These tech billionaires and hedge fund guys, they're ready to go all out, and I don't think as much as we love Jeannie and co, I don't think they're up to snuff to compete at that level, spending that type of coin. So now you're getting a proven ownership group with a guy who's already all about the city and knows how to operate a franchise and is already part of the franchise. So I don't think anything's going to change. This guy's all business professional. He's none of the nonsense maybe that went on under some of the nonsense. I don't think he's going to be all buttoned up now under Mark Walters. So this is great. And most importantly, he's not an outsider coming in like, those clowns from the Mavericks, these guys who never owned a team. They're just billionaires throwing their money around. This guy's a proven ownership, and he's going to come in, he's ready to play, and he's not going to be clueless in not how to operate a pro franchise. So this is all win-win. There's no downside to this. And if they run the Lakers like the Dodgers, guys, we're going to have a dynasty from both teams going forward. And I'm all about it. Let's get it going, guys. I can't wait to see the Mark Walters era begin now.
Mark,
thanks for the time, fellas.
Appreciate the phone call. Always a good caller here on 710 ESPN. He brings up a good point, though. The ownership group for the Mavs, they don't know sports. They know gambling. They know casinos. They know how to become billionaires. The Guggenheim Group, you know what they own? They own the Dodgers, right? But they also own an F1 team, Cadillac's new F1 team. They also own a percentage of Chelsea, the football club, who was here in town recently.
I believe they own a piece of the Sparks.
They own a piece of the Sparks. They own Chelsea and Strasbourg. They also own a women's ice hockey team. They own a squash team. They own so many different sports entities that they're involved with. So it's not like they don't know how sports work, and that's a great sign. Alec in North Hollywood, you're on a special Lakers talk on 710 ESPN. What's up, Alec?
Hey, good evening, guys. How are you?
Good,
great
man.
day. I think it's great. It's positive. I have a couple questions, though. So you guys are here like Mason and Island, everyone talking like this is going to change everything because of, this group they spent for the Dodgers. But like everyone's talked about, there's a lot more limitations in the NBA with the caps and all that kind of stuff. I was wondering, is there a scenario where it's like you can explain to me what if the Buss family owned the Lakers at this moment, they could never do this, like a scenario where this group would
an example of where basically
an
example of where the Mark Walter money can help out in ways that we have not seen with the Buss family. Is that basically what you're asking?
Yeah, help and also not completely like limit us with all the rules. You know what I mean? And also, what do you guys think Jerry Buss would say about this? And that's all I really got.
Alec, appreciate the phone call. All right, let's go backwards. What would Jerry Buss say?
I think Jerry Buss would be proud of his family having made frankly, a boatload of money off his initial investment. I think he would be proud knowing that the organization won at least one championship after his passing.
$67.5 million is what he bought for in 1979.
Not just for the Lakers. That was for the Kings. It was for a ranch.
And the Forum.
Right. And it turned into a $10 billion, maybe even more.
Dr. Buss was a poker player, right? You got to know when to hold them, got to know when to fold them.
Yes, absolutely.
Right? But he did bring up a good point.
He would realize if you want to torture the poker metaphor even further, he would realize I don't have enough chips left to play at this table.
But you also got to don't count your money when you're sitting at the table.
There'd be time enough for counting when the dealing's done.
And the dealing is done for the Buss family right now. Now, the part about infusing money, could that have helped? Well, they've been doing it the last couple of years. AEG had 21%. Different people came in and infused money. But at the end of the day, though, when you're the majority owner, you're the one that's got to pay the bill.
Yeah.
That's the deal right there. Jamie in Riverside, you're on a special Lakers talk on 710 ESPN.
Hey, how's it going, guys? First-time caller.
What's going on, Jamie?
Hey, I was just it's very intriguing, the timing of this sale. I told my brother as soon as the Celtics fell, the Lakers are going to be next, and they were going to be sold for more, and it's exactly what happened. I think that it's good for Laker Nation at the end of the day. A fresh start. Who knows? A fresher, younger team. Lots of focus on draft picks, things like that. What do you guys think?
I think this is fantastic news for the Lakers. I think this is a fantastic day for the future of this organization. I think it's a fantastic day in terms of increased opportunities. The caller earlier asked about examples of things that this money with the Guggenheim Group and Mark Walter can do that wasn't previously there with the Lakers or previously being spent. He was correct that there is a salary cap, and there restrictions in the way that you can sell, or in the way that you can bring in players and pay players. Like, you can't do a $700 million contract for Ohtani.
There's a lot of penalties that you have in basketball.
Well, just some of these they're not legal. Like, you cannot do that. There's a restriction on how much you can sell. Like, you can't do a $600 to $80 million contract. You can't do 10 years. These things don't exist.
You can defer some money. I looked into this, right? Before all the jokes started, you can defer $25 million, but it still counts on your cap.
Right. But what you can do is, if you are willing, pay into more tax, which I think before was an obstacle for the Lakers. That's not going to be as much for Mark Walter and the Guggenheim Group. You can also spend more on your front office. You can spend more on your scouting department.
You spend in the gray.
You can spend along, I don't even want to say the margins, because these things matter. There is no restriction on how much you can spend not on the court. And all the stuff off the court helps build a better product on the court. The Lakers were not spending enough on that stuff before, whether because they couldn't, wouldn't, or both. I'm expecting now that's going to happen.
Yeah, and the Celtics being sold for $6.1 billion recently.
That's chump change.
It is. It really is.
That's weak.
That's what each bus kid's going to get, right?
That is weak. $6 million. Get the hell out of here, Celtics.
$6.1 billion. How you do it? But Wick, who's a tequila partner with Jeannie, decided to sell. Yeah, because the Celtics are over the first and second apron. So real quick, you were talking about this. You can't just say, hey, we're going to give Miles Turner $50 million, $30 million more than what he's valued, and we don't care about that. No, because the way that the NBA is structured with the second apron and passing the first one, so it's basically a luxury tax. It used to be where Dr. Bus would say, hey, we'll pay that luxury tax. Now, if you're in the second apron, you are limited on the way you can build your roster. Right. You're limited on how you can acquire players. Like, you can't use your mid-level exception.
There's certain trades you can't make, things like that.
Here's a good one right here. No trading first-round picks 7 years out. That's really going to affect you. Because if it was easy to buy a team, Steve Ballmer and the Clippers would have their championship right now.
If the Lakers had first-round picks, that'd be a real problem.
That would be it. But the thing is, look, the story we made a big deal about a couple weeks ago. The Dodgers have 2 planes, right? One for the players, one for everybody else. The little luxuries that you can afford to be there for you. Coming up, we're going to let you know more about who Mark Walters is. Do you know that he went to law school?
That checks.
He went to law school. We'll give you more of the detail on who's the new man in charge of the Lakers. More of your phone calls coming up. 877-710-3776. 877-710-ESPN. A special Lakers talk right here on 710 ESPN. Bethel Duran, Andy Kamenetsky, and you on the day that the Lakers get sold on 710 ESPN.
And you'll never forget the day you heard the Bus family is selling the Los Angeles Lakers. ESPN Shams Charania is reporting that the buyer is Mark Walter, the CEO of TWG Global, and the price is $10 billion. We're talking about it on your home of the Lakers, 710 ESPN, and the all-new ESPN LA app.
Breaking news on 710 ESPN is powered by Valvoline Instant Oil Change, home of the 15-minute drive-through oil change. Visit SoCalOilChange.com for coupons and locations.
If Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea was your best friend, it would be the kind of friend that starts an impromptu dance party in the supermarket aisle that turns into an all-day pool party rager at your place, and you don't even own a pool. Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea turns any day into a legendary adventure. It's smooth and refreshing real iced tea with just the right kick of alcohol. Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Keep it twisted.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
For over 20 years, Purple Wave Auction has been the trusted leader in online auctions, offering the easiest way to buy and sell equipment. From bulldozers to backhoes and combines to cranes, we host multiple weekly auctions in construction, ag, and fleet equipment. With our no reserve format and sell where it sits approach, you can bid on local equipment without waiting for far-off auction dates. Get registered for free and start bidding today at purplewave.com.
Hey guys, it's Sedano. In the market for new flooring? Why pay more at big box stores? At Hernandez Wholesale Flooring, every day is a deal, no gimmicks. Call 866-62-FLOOR or visit them online at hernandezwholesaleflooring.net. No sale beats wholesale.
The most followed sports radio station in America.
710 ESPN.
At ESPN Los Angeles on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, and Twitch.
LA's mega sports station.
710 ESPN.
Accident or injury, call Jacob and Ronnie. Call Jacob.
Hey guys, what's up? It's George Sedano. Waiting is never fun. Usually nothing good happens when you wait. My friend Jacob in the law offices of Jacob and Ronnie want to make sure you don't wait after an accident. Immediately after an accident, before talking to the insurance company, call Jacob, man. Jacob and his team will do all the work, make all the phone calls, handle the paperwork, set up the doctor's appointments, whatever the case may be. And when you speak to the insurance company first, it's a big mistake. Because you know why? They may later use your words against you. However, Jacob and his team, they'll guide you through the process, get you the compensation you deserve, and you don't have to pay Jacob unless he wins. Nothing out of pocket. Free. Gratis. So if you're injured in an accident, the first name, the first thought, the first call should be Jacob. Jacob, Jacob, Jacob. The consultation is free. That's right. Free. I told you. Gratis. Don't wait. Call Jacob 24 hours a day at 844-24-JACOB. That's 844-24-JACOB. Call him 844-24-JACOB or visit him online at calljacob.com.
Call Jacob.
It's a special edition of Lakers Talk with Beto and Andy right here on the home of the Lakers, 710 ESPN, the all-new ESPN LA app, and on YouTube at ESPN Los Angeles.
All right, so we know Guggenheim's involved, but who's Mark Walter, the man in front? Maybe I've heard him speak twice at a press conference. Very, very private. Very, very to himself. It seems like somebody you want to work for, where he hires good people and gets out of the way. He's from Iowa. Is this heaven? No, it's Iowa. It's Iowa where he's from. He went to Creighton University.
Also in Iowa.
Home of, no, that's in Nebraska.
Oh, Nebraska. Sorry.
Home of Benoit Benjamin. Shout out to the Blue Jays. Went to Northwestern Law School. And he is now worth close to $11 billion or $5 billion or 15, or is it 20, or is it 4? Nobody knows his exact net worth because he keeps it super private. That's the kind of guy he is, and that's the kind of guy I want running my organization. Let's go back out to the phone lines on a special Lakers Talk here on 710 ESPN. Don in Industry, you're on 710 ESPN. How you doing, Don?
Oh, man. What a monumental day. Great show, guys. We're always surprised that it actually happened, but you could see it coming. It's the same reason that the O'Malleys sold the Dodgers in the first place was, it was just too hard for a family business to compete against these big conglomerates. And the difference was, the Dodgers went to a couple of bad owners before we got a good one. And now with the Lakers, we have a proven winner. Look at what they did for the Dodgers. If they do the same thing for the Lakers, I think, we're going to be in good shape. And I like the fact that they're, Jeannie's keeping her hand in, I know it's a funny analogy, but it's kind of like when you give away a puppy, you want to make sure it goes to a good home, so I think we got that, got that
Don,
aspect.
it's funny that you say that, Don. I appreciate the call. I can't say this with certainty, but I imagine that Jeannie and the Buss family, but in particular Jeannie, because she's the face of the Buss family with this, you knew that they were eventually going to sell, but I can promise they would have never sold until they were comfortable with that person. Like they were not going to be until they were comfortable with that majority owner, because this organization is so personal to her. Like she was the handpicked successor from her father, Dr. Buss, to be at the top of this organization. At times, I don't even know how comfortable she's been with that. Beyond
That's a good point.
I mean, in all honesty, like
she would hire people who were close to her that would comfort her.
Yeah, and
people that she's known.
Yes,
she's never gone out of the box.
Right. It has always been people like Rob Pelinka, who was Kobe's agent for years.
And how many times did she bring that up?
Right. Linda and Kurt Rambis have been a part of this organization. I mean, Linda began with the organization 40-ish years ago.
Yeah.
She's been with them for a long time, but it's always been this very insulated circle that has felt like comfort for Jeannie, like the personal. If I'm being honest, at times it has felt like the personal relationship with Jeannie has meant more than the professional qualifications. But with that in mind, that also speaks to she's not going to sell this organization unless she feels some type of personal connection and personal comfort to that person who is eventually going to be at the top of ownership. She's known Mark Walter for a while because he'd been a minority owner. I'm sure she's done plenty of intel.
He's had a relationship with Magic. They're going back and forth.
She knows that he loves LA sports. He devotes his resources to LA sports. He's serious about what he does.
They have the first right of refusal for a reason.
And like you said, Beto, he stays out of the way. He's serious, but he stays out of the way.
Bethel Duran, Andy Kamenetsky with you on a special Lakers talk on 710 ESPN. More of your phone calls coming up. 877-710 ESPN, 877-710-3776. Our good friend Bethel in Whittier. You're on 710 ESPN. What's happening, Tocayo?
What's up, fellas? Real quick. So I have something. First of all, this is a great move for the Lakers. But my question is, and I think someone's answered this along the way. So the Guggenheim Group already had a percentage of the Lakers' ownership, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what does that involvement entail as far as Peter Guber involved? Because he's also part of the Guggenheim Group, but he owns his share with the Warriors, and now Mark Walter owns his share with the Lakers. Do you guys see any kind of possible intimation as to a collusion there? Because you have two separate owners of two separate basketball clubs.
No, they're going to keep it separate.
Like a common interest with the Guggenheim Group. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you, and that's good for conspiracies, Beto. But Peter Guber is the executive chairman of the Warriors. I think he's focusing on the Warriors.
I'm going to give my honest answer. I have no idea because, I had not made that connection, and it gets so complicated when you get all these billionaires who all do a lot of business with each other, and more of them get involved with these different corporate conglomerates and hedge funds and venture capital, and it's all kind of incestuous. But you think about, remember when Jeannie was the top shot caller with the Lakers and Phil Jackson was running the Knicks? They were told by the NBA, you can't discuss basically work, which is a real strain on a relationship with your partner when you can't discuss work at home. So
Minor details. Minor details.
The truth is, I don't know how this is going to work, but that's an interesting thing. There's a lot to sort out here moving forward.
Yeah, it's hey, we're billionaires, and you have how much of a percentage? Pipe down here. You want the money coming in? Here you go. Devin in L.A., you're on 710 ESPN. What's up, Dev?
Hey, what's going on, fellas? Wow, man, I got off of work, dude, and just couldn't believe what I heard. I've been a Laker my whole 40 years of existence, and this team has been owned by the great Dr. Buss, and passing it down. We went through that little fiasco there with the brother, but ultimately for Jeannie to regain the reins, so to speak, and get full control, the magnificent job that she has done as a woman in this culture led by men, rich men with ego and all of that. And she's held the fort down. She's kept the Lakers. We had some down years, but the Lakers, she's delivered us a championship or championships. And I just wanted to also speak about quickly on what a business move by her. She made, not to mention the $10 billion, her still being on board, but she sold our Lakers, and you guys kind of just hit on it, to L.A. family, so to speak, the Dodgers. And what if you're going to sell, that's who you sell to. You know, the L.A. Dodgers, the world champion L.A. Dodgers, the Buss family is the first family of L.A. They've been the class of this city. And when you think L.A., you think our world champion Lakers. And what a move, dude, because she's been holding it down with this mom and pop shop organization. And to sell to the Dodgers, I just see I'm shocked. But I'm happy in one sense and sad to see she's no longer in charge. But Lakers for life, baby. I'm out.
Devin, that is a fantastic phone call. And you're right. Give Ginny all the flowers, everything that she's done. One of the first women that was on that board of governors. The way that she's led a lot of different things for the organization.
She's talked before about she's been harassed at these meetings before. Like, she's experienced misogyny at, like,
look, she wasn't her brother who came off the racetrack with the bartender.
No, I mean,
she worked her way up from the LA Strings to the LA Lasers to eventually running the LA Lakers.
Yeah.
She had to learn the family business.
Absolutely. I mean, like, is she a Nepo baby the way we talk about it? Yeah. But she's a Nepo baby that worked.
Yeah.
Like, she did a lot of work to get where she is.
And she got $10 billion for the organization. You know what she's got, though? She's still going to be involved with the organization, but she's the one that hired Rob Pelinka.
Boy, next season of Running Point is going to be wild.
I've not watched it because I've been watching the thing on the court. Now, that's what really matters to Laker fans. Rob Pelinka, look, I never try to say anybody's under the gun, that their job's on the hot seat, but it is now because there is no excuse of, well, we don't have this, we don't have that. What is the future for Rob Pelinka? Was just recently given the extension. And before AD showed up, before AD was handed to him by Nico Harrison and the Mavs, it was a lot. Well, you've heard Laker talk. You've hosted them all. How many phone calls started with, Rob Pelinka?
Many.
Is Rob Pelinka still the Rob Pelinka? Or is it, we're cool with Rob Pelinka? I want to know where Laker fans stand on that. Of course, where Laker fans stand on the big news today, where Andy stands on the future of Rob Pelinka, on the future of the Lakers. Beth Duran, Andy Kamenetsky with you. A special Lakers Talk edition. 877-710-ESPN, 877-710-3776, right here on 710 ESPN.
It's a special edition of Lakers Talk with Beto and Andy, right here on the home of the Lakers, 710 ESPN, the all-new ESPN LA app, and on YouTube at ESPN Los Angeles.
Evan Cohen here. Whether you're locking in your home run picks or riding with your favorite golfers this summer, ESPN Bet is your sportsbook for all the action. Go from checking stats on your favorite teams and players to placing bets in just a few taps. Plus, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Annie's first oil change wasn't as hard as she thought because she went to AutoZone, where a friendly AutoZoner helped her find the right oil and save on an oil filter. He explained the job and showed her free how-tos on AutoZone.com. When she was done, AutoZone recycled her old oil for free. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't. Get in the zone, AutoZone. Restrictions apply.
When pain keeps you from doing what you love, Hoag Orthopedic Institute gets you back to you. We are ranked number 18 in the nation and number 1 in Orange County for orthopedic and spine care by U.S. News & World Report. From the surf to the green, our world-class doctors are there, which is why more Californians choose Hoag Orthopedic Institute for orthopedic and spine care more than any other hospital. At Hoag Orthopedic Institute, there is no one better at getting you back to you. Proudly founded by premier physicians in partnership with Hoag. Learn more at HoagOrthopedicInstitute.com.
All right, listen up. Whether you're out for a walk, hitting the gym, or just tackling your day, in this LA heat, chafing is no joke. Take my word for it. That's why you need Highlands Chafing Relief. This stuff is a game changer. Goes on like a cream, dries like a powder, and stays put even through sweat and water. No greasy mess, just all-day protection. If you've already got some chafing, Highlands soothes it fast with aloe, shea butter, and tea tree oil. Don't let chafing slow you down. Grab Highlands Chafing Relief at Walmart or Target right now.
4th of July savings start now at Carden Alleyway Hyundai. Lease a brand new Hyundai Elantra SCL Sport for just $219 a month for 36 months with only $34.99 due at signing. Drive with confidence backed by America's best warranty, 10 years or 100,000 miles, and Hyundai's exclusive owner assurance program. Visit us off the 91 freeway or schedule your test drive now at CardenAlleyWayHyundai.com. SU 944151, $34.99 due at signing plus tax. License, $85 doc fee and registration. No security deposit. 10,000 miles per year. Offer expires 7/7/2025.
Hi, it's LeBron. The Lakers play here.
710 ESPN.
KSPN, Los Angeles.
A Good Karma Brands radio station.
This is a special edition of Lakers Talk. Right now on 710 ESPN. Your home of Lakers basketball. The Buss family is selling the Lakers, and we're talking about it tonight on 710. React with us now at 877-710-ESPN. Lakers Talk Special Edition. Right now, here is Beto Duran and Andy Kamenetsky.
A potential new NBA champion tomorrow. So, of course, let's break the most humongous news possible. Oh, that the Lakers are being sold. How many times did you look at your Shams account and say, okay, is this hacked again?
Oh, I always now triple check.
Always
triple check. Like, even Shams, like when he broke the Luka news, even Shams is like, am I sure that this is legit? Like, it took me seeing it on the ESPN.com site, knowing somebody wrote it. Because even when I saw Brian Windhorst on TV talking about it, I'm like, this could be a deep fake. This seems so bizarre. I'm like, I'm not buying it. But yeah, it's real.
All right, Lakers this year had a very, very disappointing playoff run.
Yeah.
We saw a Jackson Hayes who was in your starting lineup, which is, we saw a coach deciding that 5 players is all he needed. He pulled the Hoosiers. My team's on the floor. Nobody else is playing. So now you have a new ownership group. We don't know when they will take over. We don't know the involvement from anybody. We don't know if it's going to be, hey, we're going to be hands off. We're just going to own them in name only, and you keep on doing status quo. Or do we come in and get involved? But let's just say that right now, if you're Mark Walters, you're looking at this team, and you've been watching because you've gone to games, you own a percentage of the team, you know what's going on with him, and you know, as a man who just led a baseball team to a championship, and you saw how the city got an electric for a Dodger Stadium parade, you've heard about LA parades. Hello, 15 years ago, the Lakers beat the Celtics, right?
15 years ago yesterday.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
And if you're Mark Walters, put your Mark Walters hat on. What do you do with Rob Pelinka?
First thing I want to know in talking with Rob Pelinka is, why has this front office been so small? Why has it essentially been a front office of Rob Pelinka, Kurt Rambis, might be it. You know, Joey and Jesse Buss, I know, have a voice in things going on, but they run other departments, whether you're talking about scouting, whether you're talking about G League. Like, it has been extremely insulated and small.
For the record, though, they did give J.J. Redick some support.
Sure, absolutely.
He wanted money for the assistant coaches, Nate McMillan, Scotty Brooks. They got money.
Right. But I would want to know, why has it been small? Like, why has this been maybe the smallest front office in the NBA? Like, I would be surprised if it's not the smallest, because I cannot imagine a front office being smaller. Like, almost by definition, it would be impossible for it to be smaller.
So is that the reason that you haven't been able to get players?
Well, I think it's not even necessarily the reason you can't get players, but what I do think it gets in the way of is identifying the best players, coming up with a roster 1 through 12 that totally makes sense, finding the best ways to support certain skill sets, finding some of the best guys to play roles 7 through 10 on the roster. So J.J. Redick, for example, would have more options off his bench that he would feel comfortable with. Like, these are all detail things, like the scouting department. Why is the scouting department small? Why is the analytics department small? Like, why are all of these things small? And I'm guessing, based off the way the Dodgers are run, that is not how Mark Walter would prefer to do business with his teams. And if the answer from Rob Pelinka is because it wasn't an option, then my response as Mark Walter would be, well, it's about to expand. We're about to bring in more people. And if there is resistance from Rob Pelinka, whether because he prefers to kind of work as a solo exec, whether because there's concern about power dynamics, things like that, if I'm Rob Pelinka and I'm not comfortable with that, my guess is he will not be here for as long as, if nothing else, Jeannie Buss pictured him being here.
Well, he had the blanket with Jeannie Buss. That's gone now.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, Jeannie and Rob have had a very close relationship. Jeannie has known Rob forever. Rob was Kobe Bryant's agent. In a lot of ways, Rob is kind of the living embodiment of Kobe and like that extension of Kobe. And Jeannie and Kobe were extremely close. Rob Pelinka and Kobe were like best friends. Rob Pelinka was Gigi Bryant's godfather. Like, this is a legitimately close relationship. But that can't be the thing that dictates job security. And if it has been, I do think that's going to change, because that's not the relationship between Rob Pelinka and Mark Walter.
Well, I do know the last couple of years, the Lakers have added to their analytics department. There's some people that you see running around. Yeah. We're not allowed to talk to them.
Right.
We can't even confirm if that's who they are, because I think I know who they are in the operations assistant. That's their title.
I believe I'm LinkedIn friends with one of them.
Yeah, but we don't know who they are. Their video department is still lacking considering where you're at. Meanwhile, if you look at the Dodgers.
Scouting department I've always heard is small.
Very. If you look at the Dodgers, this is how the Dodgers organization operates. The chairman, Mark Walter. Stan Kasten is your president and CEO. Okay, oversee it. Then Andrew Freeman is your president of baseball operations. That's where Rob Pelinka was at, right? Then after that, they have an executive vice president and general manager, a senior vice president of baseball operations, a vice president and general manager, vice president and assistant general manager, vice president, assistant general manager, and legal counsel, vice president scouting, vice president international scouting, vice president player personnel, vice president player performance, vice president baseball administration, vice president player development. That's a lot of vice presidents.
Right. And does that mean that the Lakers need to have that many people in their front office? Not necessarily, but there is space between the way it currently exists, which is extremely small, and the way the Dodgers have operated. And honestly, I think the Lakers would benefit from more people being in there, A, because more voices often leads to differing opinions, the most ideas, and then you land on the best solutions. But also, you can dole out responsibilities more. Like, people don't end up buried in the weight of their work. Like, Rob Pelinka, there's a lot that I imagine, the details that I've thought he hasn't really been, he really hasn't drilled down on. Some of it is he likely doesn't have time to.
If you look at the Lakers breakdown on Real GM, scouts, it's just 7 of them. 7. That's where Pelinka's going to have to open up his mind and be willing to work with different people. But you can't be solo anymore. Those days are done, right? I'm doing it by myself.
That is my guess.
Does he survive?
I think if he is open to that sort of thing, and if he does good work, like, I will say this, I think the standard for Rob Pelinka is about to rise, because again, that relationship and that loyalty that he has between him and Jeannie, I am guessing that is not the relationship between him and Mark Walter.
I was telling Bergman this, right, Berg, about how the Dodgers and the way that they operate. Yeah, we'll be loyal to you, but at the end of the day, business, you cutthroat, perform, gone.
If you're not performing, yes, they're going to get rid of you. I just want to know, Beto, you said that they only have, 7 scouts?
This is according to Real GM.
Yeah. How does that compare to other teams, like the Warriors, who's a very well-run organization? How many scouts do they have in
usually
comparison?
Teams around the NBA have 12 or more. So
they can send them all throughout the country. Yeah.
Well, this is what you find out. But then a lot of teams also have the special assistants that go to different places. But this is just what is listed. But you go and you compare it. It shouldn't be that way. Again, we're not knocking the Lakers. It's just been, you have somebody who's a scout who's been around for a while. That's a 6-figure job with some benefits, and all that starts adding up.
So this was a thing where you were talking about before. You're run as a mom and pop type shop.
That's what it is.
And now with Mark Walter coming in, it's kind of like you're being run by Disney, a big corporation that wants to bring in the best people from the top all the way down to the bottom.
Well,
you're not going to be a solo act by yourself. You're going to have all the smartest people in the room.
And there's also, too, there's a lack of sentiment. Like, you want a certain amount of loyalty because that's going to make people comfortable in their jobs. It's going to make them feel appreciated. But the loyalty can go too far, and the sentiment can go too far if it gets in the way of decisions. Like, remember, 5-6 years ago, Magic Johnson, when he was essentially Rob Pelinka's boss, he wanted to fire Luke Walton.
Yes, he did.
But
quickly.
But Jeannie was not comfortable with that because she had an attachment to Luke. Like, I think she believed in him as coach, but she had known Luke since he was a rookie with the Lakers. But she also had this sentimental attachment to Magic, who's been like a brother to her, that she's known since Magic was she was like in her teens, Magic was in her 20s. And because she really couldn't choose emotionally between either, she ultimately ended up losing both.
How many times over the past couple of years have the Lakers lost out on a coach or a player because a couple $1 million? Hello, Ty Lue, right? Or because they wanted to do it our way. No, you let somebody take charge. That's what the Guggenheim Group is going to do for these Lakers teams.
Yeah, it's going to help in that areas with the special assistants and all those and the trainers and everything else that helps that just the organization itself.
And the grade.
Right, yeah, but the Ty Lue thing is a great example because that wasn't just money. That was also years, and they also wanted to pick your assistants and all those different things. They are going to choose people based upon smart businessmen, smart basketball minds that are going to be in the front office at some point and say, like, okay, pick the right coach, let them have their say on who's going to come in also so we can build the right organization. That's the biggest thing that's going to come out of all of this.
Yeah, the thing with Ty Lue, it was like, okay, it's one thing to dictate smaller contract that is directly lined up with the length of LeBron's, which I think is kind of insulting to Ty Lue because you're basically at that point saying you're just LeBron's coach, and this was when they clearly did not think LeBron was going to be playing for as long as he currently is. It's another thing to say, but you can be here as long as you want, but we're going to pick all of your assistants. Like you have to have X, Y, and Z on. You can't do both and expect to get a coach like Ty Lue who would be in demand.
Sure. At least now you have J.J. Redick, who you did, as you guys were talking about earlier, did let them pick his own coaches. And that was the right thing to do. Bring in smart basketball minds to be on your coaching staff that have done it before, former head coaches. It's a smart thing to do. Now you need to have that all the way up and down in the front office, just like it happens with the Dodgers, because that's what he does there. Then you have Andrew Friedman, you have Brandon Gomes, you have all these other special assistants and assistant GMs that know what they're doing, and they create a team. They're going to do the same thing with the Lakers.
They're getting into F1. They have a Cadillac team in F1.
That's right.
Why are they doing this? Because they believe in themselves. Go back to the phone lines. Demas in LA. You're on a Laker Talk special right here on 710 ESPN. What's happening?
Hey, gentlemen. I just want to chime in. One, I'm super excited about the new ownership. I was just talking about this last week, and I was just like, man, I think it's time for the Lakers to sell, and Mark Walters would be a great owner, and it's finally happened. So, bravo. We appreciate the Buss family, but, I think it was time, and it's time to pass the torch. Secondly, I want to talk about Rob Pelinka, man. One thing about Rob, I think he's a great manager of personalities. He can, I think, going back to his agent days at Landmark Agency, I think he comes from a business. I know that he'll know how to talk to some personalities, whether it's Mark Walter, a new structure. When I think about Andrew Friedman and where he came from Tampa Bay to the Dodgers, he came from a smaller organization that was a lot more quaint. I think it would be similar coming from a small family owning the Lakers to now a big organization. I think he's going to thrive. Some of the bad decisions that were made were in conjunction with like LeBron, with Russ, and other things alike. But overall, I think Rob will make it.
Demas, appreciate the phone call. One more, Jason in Vegas. You're on Lakers Talk special right here on 710.
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's up, Jason? Good
Can you hear me?
Yeah, man. Good to hear from you.
Hey, man. Hey, man, it's good to talk to y'all. Hey, I just wanted to say real quick, Rob Pelinka, he can't afford to make any more Russell Westbrook moves and miss on any trades, period. If he does, he's got to go, period. And then second of all, please give all the respect to the Busses. They brought us memories, Kobe, Shaq, everybody. And it's just awesome now that we're going to be able to finally spend the money and actually get up and get some championships. And also, too, Mark, if you want, you've already bought the Lakers and the Dodgers. Just talk to Mark Davis and offer him the same Genie Bus deal and buy the Raiders. Love you guys. Lake.
What'd I tell you? Laker, Dodger, Raider. It's one fan.
Well, you got Bergman's attention
That's
right
Bergman
now.
right there.
Every one of my teams.
That's a Bergman right there.
Yeah,
and Morales.
100%.
Those are the guys who used to call Mucho Morales' show right there. Laker, Raider, Dodger.
Bergman's
fan.
like DeCap, Django Unchained. Curiosity, but now you have my attention.
I don't know if I want to be compared to the DiCaprio and
Just the
Django
meme,
Unchained.
just the meme, not the character.
Like,
I think Morales is a Raider fan now too, so he's part of it.
You changed the nation?
I did last year as a bit, but I don't know about this year.
What?
Now I'm all in on
Now-
Rams because I touched Matthew Stafford a lot at Media Day. We pressed
Big
the
dude,
flesh.
huh?
Oh, he's just great.
I
And then
both want you to elaborate and don't want you to elaborate at the same time.
we've got video, which that's coming later. And then Jimmy G and I spent some good time. So
Oh.
now I might be all in
Well,
on
he's
Rams.
handsome.
Yeah, you're in. No, you know what? You're in on Jimmy G.
And it's good for business if I'm more Rams, pro Rams, because I've been, not anti-Rams, but I like to see the world burn. So that's been interesting the last few years.
Still.
Yeah, and it wears Travis out during the NFL season because I know more about
Well,
the NFL
once you
than
almost
him.
die, Chris, you start seeing things differently.
Oh,
You get a
absolutely.
different perspective.
Yeah, absolutely. That's true.
Chris Morales, 7-13. He almost died.
I brought it up. To be fair to Chris, I brought it up.
We love hearing from Chris. We love hearing from Bergman. We love hearing from you. Lakers have a new ownership. The Guggenheim Group has agreed to take over for Jeannie Buss. She and her family are selling the majority, the 66% that they owned, to the Guggenheim Group. That is crazy. I never thought I'd actually see it. I knew it would happen.
Yeah.
And the Guggenheim did have the first right of refusal. They said it's an offer we cannot
You know
refuse.
what, man? It's fun. We talked about the timing and how it's ironic that it's usurping all the attention on perhaps the NBA championship getting closed out tomorrow. That game, by the way, right here, 5:30, 710 ESPN,
Yeah.
Game 6, Thunder Pacers. But, like, this is coming at a time where you're wondering, how is the organization going to build around Luka? How are they going to navigate, as Rob Pelinka always says, apron world? How do you deal with a lot of this money? All of a sudden, the money is arriving. Maybe that could explain some of the timing. It's we have a new era that we want to maximize, and we've reached the point where we've just realized we cannot do this as is anymore.
And the Dodgers are starting with the Padres. I want to go down memory lane with you. Remember when the McCourts were there?
Oh,
Remember when the
God.
Guggenheim Group showed up?
Oh, yeah.
We briefly touched about that, but I really want to go down memory lane and tell people what the ice cream was really all about. Lakers, a special Lakers talk right here on 710 ESPN. Beth Durant, Andy Kamenetsky. More of your phone calls if you want to join us. 877-710 ESPN. 877-710-3776 right here on 710 ESPN.
And you'll never forget the day you heard the Buss family is selling the Los Angeles Lakers. ESPN Shams Charania is reporting that the buyer is Mark Walter, the CEO of TWG Global, and the price is $10 billion. We're talking about it on your home of the Lakers, 710 ESPN, and the all-new ESPN LA app.
Breaking news on 710 ESPN is powered by Valvoline Instant Oil Change, home of the 15-minute drive-through oil change. Visit SoCalOilChange.com for coupons and locations.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at Hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to Hims.com/joy. That's Hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Next Gen, the official air conditioning, heating, plumbing, and electrical team of SoCal sports fans. Did you know that the water in Southern California contains nitrates, pesticides, forever chemicals, lead, chromium, chlorine, and more? See what a difference purified water can make for you and your family. For a limited time, Next Gen's offering everyone $500 off any whole home water purification system. And with thousands of 5-star reviews and a decade of experience, you can trust them for quality service and expertise. Next Gen is your whole home comfort provider, offering plumbing, AC, heating, and electrical services. Schedule a visit today and learn all about the benefits of cleaner water and total home comfort. We're talking whole home expertise, financing options, 5-star service, and 7-day-a-week availability. So don't wait. Call right now, 833-3-NEXGEN today to start the benefits of cleaner water for your home tomorrow. CSLB number 1011173. Next Gen, here for you now and for years to come.
NEXGEN, call 833-3NEXTGEN. The High Desert Beer and Wine Festival, Saturday, June 21st at the Palmdale Amphitheater. This Ticket Thursday on ESPN LA. We're hooking up listeners with 3 pairs of tickets to the tastiest party of the summer. Craft beers, fine wines, food trucks, and live performances from Eve 6, DJ A1, and more. Tune in Thursday for your cue to call and win. The High Desert Beer and Wine Festival, June 21st, Palmdale Amphitheater. Don't miss it.
It's a special edition of Lakers Talk with Beto and Andy, right here on the home of the Lakers, 710 ESPN, the all-new ESPN LA app, and on YouTube at ESPN Los Angeles.
A special Lakers Talk right here on 710 ESPN. Beth Durant, Andy Kaminsky, Greg Bergman, Chris Morales, and you taking your phone calls till about 8 o'clock on a historic day here in LA. Whew, a lot going on. Man. You did a morning show with Travis.
Yes, I did.
You figured you'd go home, be a good dad, good husband, and then you get the phone call. Hey!
Yep.
My friend.
I've already done an emergency Locked On Lakers mini podcast. When I get home, going to do the full one. And then I may be in tomorrow. We'll see. I might be in tomorrow. DeMarco is still, I believe, under the weather. So I think I'm going to be in tomorrow with Travis again. And we're just going to keep talking about, again, this historical moment in LA sports.
Peter in Santa Clarita, you're on 710 ESPN. What's happening, Peter?
Hey, guys. What's going on? It's good to talk to you both. I have a kind of a weird question here because up to now, the responsibility around trades, around what free agents we're going to get, has been spread out between Jeannie, Rob, Clutch, LeBron, etc., the Rivas family. Like, who is it now? Who's gonna be the face of the decisions and the person who's ultimately going to talk to the media and to the fans about what direction they're going? Thanks, guys.
Peter, that's a good call. That's a good call. So technically, Jeannie is still going to be the face of, right?
Well, Jeannie, for the time being, until all of this stuff is final, Jeannie is the ultimate shot caller because she's Rob Pelinka's boss. Rob Pelinka may be the highest decision maker with basketball, but Jeannie is still his boss. Like, I don't know when this formal transition is. There's not a lot of time, to be totally honest. Like, let's just say everything was signed, formally done tomorrow. There's not a lot of time between tomorrow and July 1st for Mark Walter to just install his dream front office.
Yes.
Like, that would honestly be too chaotic. Like, you actually would not want that. So my answer would be, for the time being, the answer is Rob Pelinka. Rob Pelinka is going to be the one making these basketball decisions for the time being, certainly around free agency. If the Lakers do anything in the draft, that's going to be Rob because there isn't enough time for anything else.
Now, this is where there's another meme in Spanish called "Take it easy, take it easy." You got to relax right now. My friend, relax. Just because there's a new ownership group doesn't mean there's a new contract for the Lakers.
Right.
Doesn't mean there's new money for the Lakers. Doesn't mean there's new LeBron for you. He's going to be 41 years old this year. This is, hey, we have an infusion of ownership. Great. Energy. Fantastic. Oh, but you still have these restrictions on your salary cap. You still can't go over here. You still don't have these draft picks. You are still burdened by what you have on paper. Yeah. And we're not talking about that right now. We're just talking about the excitement of, heck, there's a new sheriff in town. Hello, Kevin Malone. Throwback there. But before we went to break, I was talking about this. It reminded me of the McCourt era. I'm not saying that the Jeannie Buss and the Lakers were bad. No.
That would be an incredible insult to Jeannie Buss.
But what I want to get into is the vibe that we got when the Guggenheim Group showed up in 2012. I was there for that press conference, and it was, who are these guys? Because back then it was just Frank McCourt and his estranged wife and their kids getting paid hundreds of $1,000s not to show up to work. Now it was, okay, but these are hedge fund guys. Right. What do they do? They invest. They're insurance guys.
Do they know anything about sports? Do they even care about this, or is this just a play toy for them?
What is Acrisure? What is this? What is that? Like, there were just so many different things that we didn't know in 2012 about how these huge companies were coming involved, and which was the future of it. You had to have somebody that cares about it. I mean, I think the Guggenheim Group has done a great job of showing the city of LA that they'll invest in the city of LA. They'll be there for you. But we saw results immediately, not necessarily on the field, but in the way that the front office was treated, the way that staff was treated.
You know who the biggest beneficiary, or I would say the biggest immediate beneficiary that I remember off the top of my head? Andre Ethier. Because Ethier got a contract that was basically signaling we are serious about spending money.
I'm glad you brought that up. I was hoping you'd remember that.
Ethier was basically like the first guy in line for a new deal, and just right place, right. And he was a good player, but right place, right time, he got paid.
They started spending money. And it wasn't like it was, oh my God, how much? No, it was, you're locking in with him. You're making sure that you're keeping people that have been loyal to you, people that are quality, people that deserve to be here. We're going to pay them. Did they overpay for Andre Ethier at that time? A little bit.
Yeah.
Did he deserve it?
Sure.
Yeah. Did the Dodgers have it with the McCourts? No. Did Guggenheim show up and say, yeah, that's what they're going to do for you? Also, the mom and pop talk. It's beautiful to talk and be reminiscent about it, right? It's beautiful there. The Dodgers, when they were in first place, the staff used to get ice cream every single day when the O'Malleys owned them, right?
Yep.
You've all heard these waxing poetic stories about back in the day they used to do this. It was a family. Times have changed. The money has changed. You used to go to the game for $5 in the top deck. Everything is now different.
Here's how much it's changed. Like when Dr. Buss bought this team and during the heyday of Showtime and stuff like that, it was a different league. It was set up differently in the way that you can spend. There were a lot of advantages that the Lakers had over other teams. But one of them was Dr. Buss was then one of the richest owners in the NBA. Like he could legitimately outspend a lot of his competition. The Lakers with the Buss family now, that structure of ownership, they can't do that. Like the
billionaires have been penalized.
Like put aside what you think they're actually willing to do. Like how much up to the red could they actually spend? And if you feel like they could have spent more than they do, fine. But they still legitimately cannot compete with the rest of the league with all these different ownership groups for whom the team is not their main revenue stream. Like the team is the symbol of their success. The team is the FU money. For the Lakers, for the Buss family, the Lakers are the revenue stream. Like this is the business.
It's how much is that cell phone bill going to cost for 100 employees? We got to worry about that.
Yeah.
For the record, Andre Ethier was given a 5-year, $85 million contract when Guggenheim showed up. You're right. He benefited. Beautiful thing about Lakers, they have fans everywhere, especially in Chicago. Thomas, in Chicago, you're on the Lakers Talk Special right here on 710 ESPN. What's up, Thomas?
Hey, Beto. Hey, AK. Thanks for taking my call. I got a spicy hot take. Now,
wait a minute. Hold on. Let's get the special music right here. Spicy hot take.
Okay. I believe that the new GM under Mark Walter will be Bob Myers. Hear me out. When the Washington Commanders were sold to Josh Harris, do you know who was a consultant under him and Magic for roster construction and like team building and front office structure?
Nah, who do you got?
You know who they hired?
Who?
Bob Myers. So there's already a connection between him and Magic, and but if you just sign over a blank check, guess what? He probably wants to reset his mind. I believe he has a young family. They're just I just believe, like I think AK says about how Pelinka like this. Oh my God, more people, more people talking. I just believe that this is a hot candidate that is going to be the new GM. That's just my opinion. Just the connection is there. That's the vibe I'm getting. He's already done it. You see, the Lakers, guess what? The new owner is already proven. And Bob Myers is a proven GM, and you just let him run it, just like how you let Andrew Freeman run the team for the Dodgers.
Thomas, appreciate the phone call. Spicy hot take. And this is what we're going to have. This is where Rob Pelinka better make sure that he produces and make sure he gets the job done, because now there's going to be the speculation everywhere.
Well, there's a baseline now that he has to meet, because the majority owner and he do not have the relationship, the personal connection, I would say the extreme loyalty that he and Jeannie Buss have towards each other. Like, they don't have decades of relationship under their belt. Like, this is totally new now. Like, do I think Rob Pelinka is going to be fired within a month? No, I don't think that. Like, I would imagine, if nothing else, Mark Walter and them, they want to see how Rob Pelinka operates, because they may feel like, you know what, with certain changes, certain infrastructure, whatever, Rob might actually be in our minds, if nothing else, better at his job. Like, we can help Rob Pelinka, like, help himself.
This is what I want to get to coming up. Is the pressure going to go up or is it going to stay? This is a new time, a new era for Laker fans. Your phone call is coming up, 877-710-ESPN, 877-710-3776. Pure in the YouTube chat. People believe in Rob? Oh, you little faith. We'll find out right here on a special Lakers Talk edition. Beth Durant, Andy Kamenetsky with you right here on 710 ESPN.
And you'll never forget the day you heard the Bus family is selling the Los Angeles Lakers. ESPN Sham Charania is reporting that the buyer is Mark Walter, the CEO of TWG Global, and the price is $10 billion. We're talking about it on your home of the Lakers, 710 ESPN, and the all-new ESPN LA app.
Breaking news on 710 ESPN is powered by Valvoline Instant Oil Change, home of the 15-minute drive-through oil change. Visit SoCalOilChange.com for coupons and locations.
In a world parched for excitement, one drink will emerge. Twisted Tea, the refreshing thrill ride of flavor. Recreating its classic role as the hard iced tea that goes down smooth. Twisted Tea doesn't just taste like real iced tea, it's made with real brewed tea and a 5% kick of alcohol. Taste the adventure with Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Keep it twisted.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Evan Cohen here. Whether you're locking in your home run picks or riding with your favorite golfers this summer, ESPN Bet is your sportsbook for all the action. Go from checking stats on your favorite teams and players to placing bets in just a few taps. Plus, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Hey, it's Cap. Inheriting a home can be overwhelming, but Seller's Advantage makes it easy. One customer shared, quote, inheriting a home felt like too much work. Seller's Advantage gave us a reasonable offer, handled everything, and closed in 3 weeks. I highly recommend them. Skip repairs and headaches. Call Seller's Advantage today at 888-390-AS-IS or visit sellersadvantage.com for your free cash offer.
DRE number 01961658.
Don't worry, sell happy with Seller's Advantage.
USC football is more than a game. It's tradition, pride, and unforgettable Saturdays in the Coliseum. Be there for every kickoff, every touchdown, and every unforgettable moment this season. Secure your football season tickets today and lock in the best seats, exclusive fan benefits, and memories that last a lifetime. Don't miss out. We need you in the stands. Visit USCTrojans.com or call 213-740-GO-SC.
Hey, it's Travis. Every legend has a story, and those stories are kept at Legends Attic in Claremont. Legends Attic is the premier sports memorabilia gallery and store that offers a unique blend of rare and iconic collectibles. It's a community for sports fans and collectors, so go check it out for yourself. Legends Attic, 619 West Foothill Boulevard in the city of Claremont. Visit legendsattic.com and be sure to follow Legends Attic on all social media platforms so you can stay connected to know about their upcoming signings and special events with Hall of Famers and pro players.
It's a special edition of Lakers Talk with Beto and Andy right here on the home of the Lakers, 710 ESPN, the all-new ESPN LA app, and on YouTube at ESPN Los Angeles.
Lots going on in LA. Andy Kamenetsky lives at 710 ESPN. He was on this morning with Travis. What'd you guys talk about? Dodgers, Padres?
Talked a lot of Dodger Padres.
A lot of Dodger Padres. Ohtani getting hit. Guys going back and forth. All that good stuff. And then you went home. You're a good father. And you're like, oh, maybe tonight I'll watch the Dodgers, Padres again. Game 3.
Just chill a little bit. See how DeMarco's feeling, whether I have to be in tomorrow or not, that sort of thing.
Oh, you don't know if you're in tomorrow?
I believe I am in tomorrow. I think DeMarco's still under the weather.
Okay, because I just got asked if I'm available Friday.
Well, that's because I'm on Mason and Ireland.
I know my
If
role.
we can let people into the inner workings of how these things.
Nobody loves schedule talk more than I do here. So let's talk about your schedule this week. Tomorrow, Travis and DeMarco?
Yeah, I am Travis and DeMarco.
Friday?
Mason and Ireland.
Are you Mason or Ireland?
I believe I'm Ireland.
Okay, so you're Ireland.
I believe I'm playing the role of Ireland.
And who's hosting Laker Talk Daily?
That's always DeAndre. Daily's DeAndre.
Oh, Daily's DeAndre.
I'm weekly.
Weekly.
Daily's DeAndre.
Okay.
That's a DeAndre Hawkins special.
Now, we love DeAndre, and DeAndre was walking out here like, I got to go change what I did. Yes, you did. Do, because the Lakers.
Welcome to this world, kid.
The Lakers have new ownership.
Okay.
When does it take over? We don't know. When's it official? We don't know. It's all reported according to Shams, but nobody's saying nothing.
I want to give people, just because it's new ownership, just to put in perspective how long the Buss family has owned the Lakers. Dr. Buss bought this team. I looked it up. May 29th, 1979.
Yep.
Here's what was happening at the time.
You're doing this? I love it.
The number one movie of the week in May 29th, 1979, the Woody Allen movie Manhattan, which was just about to be overtaken by the first Alien movie. The number one TV show, May 29th, 1979, Dallas. Number one song, May 29th, 1979, Reunited by Peaches and Herb.
And it feels so good.
Morales loves that
This
one.
is a Morales. You're doing a Morales special right now.
I am doing a Morales
special. You got to do it
special.
with the Morales voice.
Hey, President, 1979, Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter, the reigning MVP in the NBA when Dr. Buss bought this team. Moses Malone.
Oh, beautiful.
The reigning NBA champions, the Washington Bullets, which lets you know just how long ago this was because Washington was both good and the Bullets.
Yes.
That's how long ago it was. This was, for people who don't have the timeline straight, right before Magic Johnson began his rookie season.
Michigan
That
State.
is how long the Buss family has owned this organization.
And they're out of the business. Jeannie Buss will stay on as the governor with 15% and be in charge, according to reports, of what's going on. Anything official? No. Anything going to come out anytime soon? No. Press conference soon? Probably not. But we do know that they've agreed in principle, and that's going on. This leads us back to what we were talking about earlier. Okay, Rob Pelinka, time to show up. You've been doing the job. You got a championship in 2020 and then blew that up. Okay? You decided for whatever reason you were going to let that go. Alex Caruso wanted money, decided not to give it to him. Now, what are you going to do? As our good friend Voltaire 213 says, I'm in a church meeting right now over Zoom, and I'm listening to y'all. So, Voltaire in the YouTube chat, appreciate you joining.
You're going to
us.
hell, Voltaire, but we appreciate it.
Hey, it might be in a handbasket because some people want to send Rob Pelinka there.
You just brought up Rob Pelinka, Alex Caruso, Taylor Horton Tucker.
And you tweeted about it last night.
That was the choice ultimately. That, to be fair to Rob Pelinka, I'm willing to bet that was put upon him by Jeannie Buss. Like the idea of we're not paying for both of these guys, Alex Caruso, Taylor Horton Tucker. Now, it is on Rob Pelinka to choose the right guy. They chose the wrong one in Taylor Horton Tucker. At that point, especially after trading for Russell Westbrook, it needed to be Caruso, but they could have actually kept both. It was purely an economic decision. Maybe something like this happens moving forward with Mark Walter and Guggenheim. You don't end up making that same mistake because you don't have to make the choice.
If you're Rob Pelinka, again, this is all speculation here. All right? We don't know anything. We're just playing speculation here on a special Lakers talk. Are you a little concerned about your job?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Not even a little, huh?
Absolutely. One of the things that has kept Rob Pelinka in this job, I'm not going to say the only thing, because he has made good decisions. He has a championship on his resume. That never leaves his permanent record. Like, Rob Pelinka earned that. He deserves it. But one of the things that has kept him in this job is that relationship with Jeannie Buss, the only person at that organization who is his boss. They've had a long personal relationship. It goes back to when Rob Pelinka was Kobe's agent. Rob Pelinka, in a lot of ways, is like that embodiment of Kobe and everything he meant to this organization. There's like a personal, emotional connection. But that's not going to be the case moving forward when Mark Walter is the ultimate shot caller.
Pete Toner in the YouTube chat says, Beto expects multiple Laker titles ASAP or will be calling for Mark Walter's head to sell the team. Toner, no. I don't expect any Laker championships anytime soon with this current roster. What I do expect is for this current organization and the future leadership to give you the resources so you're never in a position for Jackson Hayes to be your starting center.
And
What's
then
up, Jackson?
And then with Rob,
or a position where you only play 5 players.
Right. With Rob moving forward, is he capable of doing the job well enough to keep it? Sure. But it's a different setup. And Rob is, if I had to guess, but it feels like an educated guess, Rob is not going to benefit from the setup the way he did when Jeannie was the ultimate shot caller and the highest boss there.
We're not asking for anybody to get fired.
No.
We're just saying the reality of what it is. And this is
the reality with change.
This is the reality of any job. Here at 710, we've had so many different program managers, so many different bosses. Every single time there's a new one, okay, is my job really secure? Because we can all be bought out. Not that we have contracts, but we can all be bought out.
I feel comfortable speaking for every single person that was working at 710 when Good Karma took over and bought the station.
Ooh.
It's been great. Like, it has been great. The Good Karma era has been fantastic.
I wasn't here yet, so.
But everybody was thinking, how does this affect my job?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the natural thought everybody has. I can promise Rob is thinking about that. I'm not saying he's sweating it. I'm not saying he's in the fetal position on the floor, but I guarantee he's thinking about it because this is a massive change.
Oh, damn.
Yes.
Scott Kaplan is in the YouTube chat at the Dodger game right now.
Cappy!
Cappy's there. The Dodgers and the Padres are in the second inning. Padres on top, 1-0 right now.
Anybody hit?
That's so stupid, right? They hit each other, let it go already. But we were talking about this before we went to break. How come other organizations always have those young, hot shot kids from Yale or Harvard who are 26, 27 years old, who are being groomed to be the next GM or president? How come you never hear that in these kind of organizations? It's always a Memphis, a Minnesota, right?
Well, the Lakers were such a unique organization because, again, it had been family-owned for so long, and they kept everything within their backyard. It's like that scene in Goodfellas. Remember when Lorraine Bracco, Karen Hill, was talking about when she first started dating Ray Liotta, Henry Hill, and then married? She's like, there were no outsiders ever.
Yeah, we all went to vacation together. We all went to the same wedding.
Right, same wedding, same vacation, same all that. There were never any outsiders.
And they're all called
ever. That's honestly the way the Lakers have been run for so long. And to be honest, they have been in such a dire need for outsiders. This organization has needed outside voices, outside perspective. Like Kurt Rambis is really the only person in this organization that really matters, who's had real perspective beyond the Lakers. Remember, like he was with the Knicks and he was with the Timberwolves. Like
he coached 2 organizations and he didn't last long.
Right, but at least he has that perspective. Like Rob Pelinka, I know he was an agent and dealt with different teams, but that's not the same thing as being inside the building. Jeannie Buss had always been inside this building. Like Linda Rambis, always inside this building. Everybody had always been, even Magic had always been in this building. They've needed outsiders. They're going to get them.
They needed somebody to come in and spruce things up. They're going to get that boost. They're going to get everything going. And 710 ESPN is going to be there for you. What a day. What a day.
Comment in the YouTube section. Kaplan already working on getting Mark Walter contact to get free courtside Laker tickets and suite access whenever he wants.
Pete Toner, let me tell you something. Mark Walter already owns those seats. He's been there. You just don't know because you don't really know what he looks like. He's just
I guarantee, though, Cappy has Googled Mark Walter's face, and he's memorizing it as we speak.
There's a guy with Mark Walter that this is who you need to Google. This is a guy who has some real dough who's going to be part of the ownership group. I'll tell you who that is coming up next. More of your phone calls if you want. 877-710-ESPN, 877-710-3776. And I guess in the YouTube chat, I've agreed to go buy a round of beers for people at the bar. So if you want to join me, I'll be there. I don't know which bar, but I'll be there right here on 710 ESPN.
And you'll never forget the day you heard the Buss family is selling the Los Angeles Lakers. ESPN Sham Charania is reporting that the buyer is Mark Walter, the CEO of TWG Global, and the price is $10 billion. We're talking about it on your home of the Lakers, 710 ESPN, and the all-new ESPN LA app.
Breaking news on 710 ESPN is powered by Valvoline Instant Oil Change, home of the 15-minute drive-through oil change. Visit SoCalOilChange.com for coupons and locations.
Goal! Oh, well. Now your top reasons to visit Morongo.
Get a portable 9-band radio with flashlight when you earn 500 points on your rewards card. The 23rd.
Number 2.
Drew Baldridge, July 24th.
And the number 1 reason.
We're lighting up the sky at the Summer Bash. Celebrate the start of summer with a dazzling fireworks display. The 27th at 9 p.m.
Morongo, good times.
Hey guys, it's Sedano. In the market for new flooring? Why pay more at big box stores? At Hernandez Wholesale Flooring, every day is a deal, no gimmicks. Call 866-62-FLOOR or visit them online at hernandezwholesaleflooring.net. No sale beats wholesale.
Mark your calendars, SoCal. The High Desert Beer and Wine Festival returns to the Palmdale Amphitheater on Saturday, June 21st from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. Sample craft brews from regional breweries, sip fine wines, and enjoy tasty food trucks while rocking out to live performances from Eve 6, DJ A1, and some of the best cover bands around. It's the tastiest party of the summer. Tickets available at highdesertbeerandwinefest.com. General admission and VIP options available. That's highdesertbeerandwinefest.com.
The most followed sports radio station in America.
710 ESPN.
At ESPN Los Angeles on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, and Twitch.
LA's mega sports station.
710 ESPN.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer. Our policy is to provide equal opportunity employment, development, and advancement to all current and potential teammates. If you are an organization that maintains a job bank, provides employment information, or gives job referrals, you may request to be placed on the station's mailing list for future career opportunities. To learn more about careers at Good Karma Brands, please email careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
All right, listen up. Whether you're out for a walk, hitting the gym, or just tackling your day, in this LA heat, chafing is no joke. Take my word for it. That's why you need Highlands Chafing Relief. This stuff is a game changer. Goes on like a cream, dries like a powder, and stays put even through sweat and water. No greasy mess, just all-day protection. If you've already got some chafing, Highlands soothes it fast with aloe, shea butter, and tea tree oil. Don't let chafing slow you down. Grab Highlands Chafing Relief at Walmart or Target right now.
It's a special edition of Lakers Talk with Beto and Andy, right here on the home of the Lakers, 710 ESPN, the all-new ESPN LA app, and on YouTube at ESPN Los Angeles.
Got the Duran, Andy Kamenetsky with you till 8 o'clock on a crazy day in L.A. Baseball going on. Dodgers are down to the Padres 1-0. Our good friend Scott Kaplan at the game. He'll talk about it tomorrow, 3 to 6 with Sedano and Cap. 9 to 12 will be Travis and DeMarco. AK is going to fill in for the DeMarco Farr, who's sick right now. Then Mason and Ireland 12 to 3. All kinds of stuff going on, and that's why 710 is here for you. I was telling you, we've been talking about Mark Walter, right? The man in front of Guggenheim, the man who you see his face. One thing that Guggenheim does is they get involved and they get out of the way. And there's a man who is really, really involved financially you'll never see. But his name might pop up in some of the stories that you read. His name is Todd Boehly, Bohly. He is a man that met Mark Walter when they were young businessmen in Chicago, and they were working together, and that's really his right-hand man. So when Walter started launching his own insurance company, he brought Boehly with him. When they got to the Dodgers, he brought him with him. So there's also a name there. So just like Jeannie has her circle of trust, Sedano has his circle of trust, Walter has his own. So when he started his company, Guggenheim, Walter was there with Boehly. When he went to TWG, that's another company that they have, Boehly was there. Boehly is a dude who went to the College of William & Mary, went to the London School of Economics. So when you're trying to figure out how are the Lakers and the Dodgers going to figure this thing out with money, what are they going to do? You got to do for the London School of Economics. He is so rich that a few years ago, he tried to buy Chelsea on his own. He tried to buy him from this Russian conglomerate group. And they were like, nah, maybe we're not going to buy it. We're not going to do it. We're not going to sell it. So what did he do? He came back with Mark Walter and the Guggenheim group and said, okay, here, I have a group together. These guys don't lose. They don't mess around, and it's a great thing for Laker fans.
I think this is going to open up so many opportunities for the Lakers, so many possibilities, different avenues that either weren't available for them because of financial constraints, that maybe could have been available, but the finances got in the way, the setup, the insularity of this organization got in the way. Like, the Lakers have been an organization for a long time that has been we've always done it this way.
Yeah, let me correct myself. It's not Guggenheim that owns Chelsea. It's Blue Co., a company that they created to own Chelsea. That's what they do.
It's a buffer of separation.
Yeah, they own 20% of it. So
of course they do.
They know what's going on. Oh, by the way, he boldly on his own owns French club Strasbourg.
Look,
I mean,
these guys have so much money, and we've seen proof of concept that they're willing to spend it. Does that mean everything's going to be perfect moving forward? No. Are there going to be times inevitably when you are frustrated with Mark Walter and Guggenheim and Lakers ownership? Of course you are, because the nature of being a sports fan is at times you are pissed off at your team and you think everybody should be fired and whoever's owning it, they should sell. Like, everything has been great under Guggenheim with the Dodgers. We've taken enough calls to know plenty of Dodger fans still at times get upset with the way things are run. That's the nature of it. But in the meantime, there's just going to be possibilities and different approaches that were not there before.
This dude, Boley, also owns an esports team called Cloud9.
I know Rick Fox.
He might know.
He's been in the gaming industry. Mario
in Ontario, you're on 710 ESPN. How you feeling, Mario?
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call. So I have a question. It was more so like the valuation part, and I wanted to see what you guys think is like when a team like sells like the Lakers, and they're getting valued at $10 billion. How does this help like other teams in Los Angeles or other teams in the NBA with their valuation? The reason I was thinking about it is I was just thinking about earlier today how Steve Ballmer bought his team for 10 years ago for $2 billion. And, like, what would this do for, like, a valuation for the Clippers or for the Angels and stuff like that, or other teams like that? Thanks, guys.
My instinct is not a lot.
Yeah, not other teams, but NBA teams.
Maybe, but
to an extent.
Even then, like, this is as big as it's ever been, and you would be hard-pressed to find an organization that is more legacy Tiffany in North American sports than the Lakers. It's Lakers, Yankees, Dodgers,
Knicks, maybe
because
they're in New York.
But like, there are not many that you could even talk about being worth on this. So, like the Celtics,
they went for 6.
They went for 6, and by the way, that's hilarious that the Lakers sold for anywhere from $4 to $6 million more when the dust settles. Double middle fingers, Boston.
Virginia, Frank, you're on 710 ESPN. Frank, are you really in Virginia?
I sure am.
Where?
I'm in. Technically, I'm in Fairfax County.
Okay.
But I have an Alexandria mailing address.
Appreciate you, Frank. All right, what do you got to say about your Lakers?
You may know the Heebles.
Yeah. Well, and also Funchy.
Oh, yeah, Funch too, yeah.
I'm here.
Yeah. I've actually been a Lakers fan since 1953. They were in Minneapolis when I started rooting for them. And I just wanted to kind of call and say kudos to Jeannie, because I know she loves the Lakers, and I know she loves the Laker fans in L.A., and she would love nothing better than to be able to bring another championship or more championships to Los Angeles. But she's also realistic enough to know that in today's environment with the NBA being what it is, that it was going to be very difficult for her to be able to pull that off with any kind of consistency. So I appreciate the fact that she's willing to step aside and give someone else an opportunity to have a better chance of doing that, because Lakers fan, I know I've been with them so long, I know how they are. They are unrealistic in a sense, because everything is driven by championships, and that's fine. That's a good goal to have, but sometimes you have to be a little bit pragmatic about it.
Frank, I appreciate your support and the loyalty to 710. Thanks for the call, and that's going to be our last call today. Bergman, I want to bring you in on this because you heard that man. Morales, too. You guys are from L.A. You know what's going on. Berg, that man said 1953. He's only known a couple of owners. That's where the loyalty is at. And I haven't heard anybody really say, "Oh, what's Genie doing today?" Everybody seems like they're happy with this move, Berg.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be good for everybody. This is, if it was something like the McCourts coming in and buying the team, that would be very different. But because it's Mark Walter and it's Guggenheim, and we have an actual site, you can see what's happening with the Dodgers right in front of your eyes right now on the TV. That is something that you see every day. You see what the ownership group looks like. It's different. When that team buys the Lakers, the team that you also love so very much, you're happy about that because you know what they're going to bring and what they're going to actually do for this organization. It's nothing against Genie. No. Genie did a great job. Genie is going to still be a part of it. The governor, 15%, all that good stuff. But you have an ownership group that is going to be, like we said earlier, from top to bottom is going to build an organization that's of all smart people.
Morales, you love working in the chaos. You love the great imaging, and you love getting the people mind spinning. Mm-hmm. This is like up your alley right here. But this is also, as a man from L.A., you know what purple and gold means for the city. This is different.
Well, yeah, but here's the thing. And I said it earlier during Sedano and Cap. If you are a Lakers fan, it tears at both sides. Because I have family members I checked in with today that are like, oh, this is so sad. And they're loyal Bus family people in the Showtime era and everything. We had Keyshawn earlier on Sedano and Cap. Again, we used to talk on the air about the glory days of Showtime, and he's tight with Magic, all that. But you had to admit to yourself at some point it isn't working anymore, right? Mm-hmm. And in the NBA especially, I think the NFL is a little different because of the families that have made so many billions because of the growth and the explosion of the NFL and the TV rights. You knew that for whatever reason, Genie wasn't going to be able to keep up with these other teams. And Richard Jefferson said it on a broadcast recently, if you're not in the second apron, you can't win a championship. Now, we're seeing this with two teams in the NBA Finals that are not apron teams because they're young. But eventually, to keep that team together, you have to be an apron team. And we all know deep down, the Lakers don't have the cash. So she went and found a backer. She also got her family out once again. She cashed them out. Yep. And now she is the only sibling in the realm of it. Now, she might just be the governor, and she's got somebody to answer to for the first time ever, but she doesn't have to answer to her siblings. That's done. Yeah. And I think that's fascinating of how she, and I give her credit, and whoever was also advising her, she cashed them out. She still is in control and still around. She's the only sibling, and she got a bankroll. And Mark Walters seems to say, we'll give you the bankroll, and I don't really want anybody else running it. Run it for yourself. So also the fans are going like, yeah, we're going to cash in now. Actually, no, you're not. For quite a number of seasons, most likely, unless it is, and Greg made this point earlier, unless it's the Mark Cuban scenario where in 5 months she's out anyway. Yeah. And that could be. That could happen. But it doesn't seem likely.
What her role is going to be moving forward, like what it actually means, is going to be fascinating to watch. I genuinely have no idea.
Nobody knows, but it is an interesting time. The most expensive sale of a sports team ever. The Lakers go for $10 billion, reports.
Eat it, Celtics.
Thanks to everybody. Kids in the back working behind the scene. I can't see you right now. Greg Bergman, Chris Morales, Andy Kamenetsky, the man who's going to be on tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. I'm Bethel Durant. Thanks for listening to